Okay, let's begin the Hindu editorial section for today. We are going to deal today's 15th February, and now we are going to deal this editorial section right now. The topic is the center of the debate. Okay, a convention of CMs should be not be drowned in the polemic of electoral politics. So a convention means of whatever the CM says, it should not be like that. You are just drawing from the convention from that thing. In the polemic of electorals, what is polemic? Polemic. Polemic. Polemic basically means a strong verbal or written attack on someone or something. Okay, critical, hostile. Okay, bitter. Okay, contentious, rhetoric intended to means support a particular thing. Okay, support a specific position by fortnight claims and undermine the opposing position. So just note it. Okay, so a convention of CMs should not be drowned in the polemic of election politics. Let's understand this article. We will read it and we will get what is written over here. The Chief Minister of West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, Mamata Banerjee and MK Stalin, respectively, have jointly proposed a convention of non-BJP chief ministers. Okay, so they have proposed a convention that we want a non-BJP chief minister. Okay, the initiative is still nascent, it's new, and there is no clear agenda or definite date, but the political context is amply clear. Okay. Relation between the center and the states ruled by the opposition parties are strained due to the various factors ranging from the questions related to the GST, the partisan behavior of the central agencies. Okay, the center's move to give itself absolute powers in the transfer of IAS, IPS, IFS officers and other overbearing attitude of the several governors. So these are the means the relation between the center and these particular states are not very much smooth. There are various reasons such as defined over here. For example, IS, IFS, and all that. The relations among the states are also fraying. They are also deteriorating in many instances. Fraying means it's also not worsening. Also fraying in many instances, even as the center's morals authority to be neutral arbiter is at low. Okay, means basically where means there also means in some particular place where you can say that just a second, where you can say that the center's moral authority to be neutral arbiter, and then also there is particular this kind of means the center has nothing more to deal, then also this the condition is rising, the tendency to mobilize the political support in one state by bearing the other state. Okay, what is going, the tendency to mobilize the political support in one state by berating other states. You are not rating low rating or whatever you are doing, though not new. Okay, it is not a new. This seems to have acquired an additional edge with the BJP drawing its support from the northern and western regions. Okay, so while the opposition holds on to the southern region in general, a communal angle is occasionally added. As Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister CM Yogi Adityanath did last week in branding the West Bengal, Kerala, and Kashmir apparently for the high levels of the political power enjoyed by the Muslims there. Okay. So this is all the communal kind of thing going on. In Parliament, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi had a heated debate on the scope and the limits of the Indian federalism. The autonomy of the states in their relations with the center depends less on any ideological distinction between the parties on the nature of the power sharing among them. Okay. So the autonomy of the center means the autonomy of the states. Centers and states both are a federal. There is a federal nature kind of government. So autonomy of the states in their relations with the center depend less in any ideological distinction between the parties than on the nature of the power sharing among them. When the government, it is very much clearly written, when the government at the center is dependent on the regional parties of for survival, it is more accommodative. It is more accommodative towards the aspiration of the constituent groups, linguistic, religious, ethnic, or political. Okay. The 2014 victory of the BJP brought an end to the coalition era. Okay. So means they got a very big majority and so there were no coalition. They were brought into coalition that lasted for 25 years. So previously they were having a lot of coalition. Everybody was having the current upheaval among the parties in power in states is related to what is upheaval? Upheaval, let's say you can say AVL. Okay. Upheaval basically a violent or sudden change or disruption of something to something, of something to something. This disruption, upset, disturbance, trouble and disorder. So the current upheaval among the parties in power, okay, power party in the power in state is related to the larger questions debated in the parliament, but there are individual factors too. Okay, the TRS is anxious about the BJP's push to expand the Telangana in the Telangana. The DMK is anxious to protect its social justice politics from the centrist unilateralism. The TMC, what is unilateralism? Unilateralism, uni single. Just search it. You can search unilateralism. Okay. What does unilateralism means? Unilateralism is the process of acting, reaching a decision, or you can say, or espousing a principle unilaterally. Means एक तरफा. The pursuit of or belief of in a unilateral nuclear disarmaments. Okay, unilateral. Okay, you can say unilateral. Unilateralism is any doctrine or agenda that supports one-sided action. Unilateralism. Okay. Mm, so where we were somewhere here where we were doing dealing 20 the current upheaval among the parties in power in the states related is larger question debated in the parliament, but there are an individual factors too. The TRS is anxious about the BJP's push to expand in Telangana. The DMK is anxious to protect its social justice politics from the centrist unilateralism. The TMC, though it emerged victorious over the BJP in the last year's assembly election in West Bengal, still has the scores to settle. The Shiv Sena in Maharashtra is determined to protect its turf from the former Salai president encroachment attempts. Okay. For individual factors of the power politics, some CMs and states parties could be less enthusiastic than the TMC, TMK, TRS, and Sena in confronting the BJP and the center. Andhra Pradesh CM VSRCP leader Jagan Mohan Reddy and the Odisha CM BJD Chief Naveen Patnaik might consider it wise, prudent to protect their respective turfs in tactic acquiescence. Hence, you know what is the acquiring of something. You can say acquiescence. Tactic means by the method of tactic, by method of trickery, or you can say by the meaning of doing some kind of acquiescence, the reluctant acceptance of something without protest. Okay, so this is acquiescence, acquiescence, acquiescence. Okay, got it. So you got it right now. So this was all with the BJP. A convention of the CMs and articulate. What is articulate? Articulate. You don't know the meaning of articulate. Articulate. Articulate is basically having or showing the ability to speak fluently and coherently. Or it is adjective having joints or jointed segment. Article. Spasht. Okay. Articulate. Capture visual word. Save it. So where we were. A convention of the CMs can articulate the concerns of the state. Means CMs can articulate, form a joint. You can say form a joint, or you can say having joints or jointed. This is a verb. Articulate the concerns of the state, but it should guard against the turning into an occasion or the counterproductive polemic rooted in electoral calculations. So this is all about the article. Polemic is basically a strong verbal written attack, vivadatmak, hostile, bitter, polemic, virtual and vitriolic, venomous. Actually, it's totally politically inclined article and it is not very much important. Cash cow. Let's deal what is cash cow. Who is cash cow? The IPL is economically robust with its domestic spirit and international favor. Okay. So IPL is always a cash cow they are talking about. The Indian Premier League IPL auction held over the weekend at the Bangalore reflected financial heft and fresh hopes. The league is domestic in spirit and international in flavor, can cope with the two pandemic years and still remain economically robust is a pointer to its marking viability and strong financial underpinnings. Nearly rupees 522 crore, rupees 551.7 crore to be precise, was spent by 10 franchises. Okay, you know meaning franchises, right? Right now we deal with the meaning of franchise. Means it's not always franchise like Matadhikar. It's basically an authorization granted by government or a company to an individual or a group of enabling them to carry out the specified commercial activities. For example, as an agent for a company products, okay, Toyota granted the group a franchise, warrant, character license, permit, authorization, permission. The right to vote in public election is also called franchise. Okay, you given somebody franchise, you have given somebody the authorization, the permission, the permit. Okay, 51.7 crore crore to be precise was spent by 10 franchises as sought to be bolster the squads with the bouquet of the players with the varied skill sets. Okay, surely the IPL has come a long way since Adam Gilchrist admitted to feeling like a cow after the maiden auction. Maiden means first. You can say MAIDEN maiden. Maiden is basically an unmarried girl or young woman. Okay, on cricket, an over in which no runs is scored. You know that maiden, or you can say first. First is also maiden, being or involved the first attempt or the act of its kind. It's noun as well as adjective. It depends. So maiden auction ahead of the inaugural edition in 2008 cut the present players kept a tab through the live television and were quick to react through their social media handles. Okay, with two new teams in the fray, you know meaning of fray. Fray means in some fray. Let's say fray means unravel, wear means some wear out. Something is going on over here there, and this is a fray. For example, they will be just fighting over for the particular winning those things. So it is all kind of fray. Okay, means basically you can say that means a kind of danga ladai. Okay, but it's not that kind of ladai, but it's basically uh, you can say that when these teams are going to compete with each other na, for Gujarat Titans and Lucknow Super Giants. Okay, and Lucknow Super Giants and other squads in the rebuilding phase after retaining the few stars. It was not surprising that 204 players went under the hammer with 67 of being overseas cricketers. Means 204 players have been sold. Even the health crisis of the original auctioneer, Hugh Adamedas, was tided over his replacement. Charu Sharma stepped up to the task well. Wicket keeper batter Ishan Kishan snapped up to rupees 15.25 crore by Mumbai Indians was the most expensive buy, and at 23 the Jharkhand player is seen as someone who can replicate MS Dhoni's template. The auction also reflected team cultures with defending champions Chennai Super Kings buying back its erstwhile core members. The outlift got Devin Bravo, Ambati Rayudu, and Robin Uthappa, in which is in the sync with the skipper Dhoni's philosophy of having an established group. Mumbai Indians, meanwhile, spent rupees 8 crore on injured England's speedster Zofra Archer, kissing him as a long-term investment and a potent ally of Jasprit Bumrah. Some of Indians under 18, under 19 stars too found their moment under the sun, but as many as of their seniors would vouch. What is vouch? Vouch. Okay. So vouch is a basically जमानत करना, जमानत देना, vouch जिम्मा लेना, assert or confirm as a result of one's own experience that something is true or accurately so described. Affirm, confirm. Okay. Seniors would vouch. They remain a work in progress, and they remain. Though its performance, age, marketability, availability, economics metrics, the auction also serves as a ruthless mirror that Suresh Raina, bona fide CSK star, along with Steve Smith, Aaron Finch, Ian Morgan, found no takers instructive. Okay, they were not sold. They were not, means basically you got it, na? Years ago, Brian Lara was overlooked as he was deemed old. The Board of Control for the Cricket in India allowed the Ranji Trophy to suffer in a break in 2021 season, citing the pandemic, but moved mountains to get the IPL mm, bandwagon run. Bandwagon. Do you know the meaning of bandwagon? Bandwagon is basically a vehicle, you can say. No, it's not. Faydemand, Labkarak, bandwagon. Used in the reference to an activity, cause, etc. that is currently fashionable or popular and attracting increasing support. Okay, so this is bandwagon. Capture visual part. Okay, save as image. Vouch. You have understood the word of vouch. Bandwagon, vouch, fray. You know the meaning of fray. You must know free meaning of fray. Wow. Fray. I've already told you fray. Maiden. You understand the meaning of maiden. First, you can say maiden. Various meaning of maiden. Now, moving on next. Articulate. Articulate. You know the meaning of articulate. Yes. Articulate, you know the meaning of article. Okay, so let me finish it. Bandwagon runs smoothly, and it revealed how the league's financial muscle has the last word. Okay, the Ranji Trophy is back for now. While talk about the women's IPL still remains a nascent exercise, and just as in the previous years, the absence of Pakistan cricketers from the IPL is a pointer to sport never being immune for diplomatic pressures. Okay. The Pakistani basically they are not invited here for IPL. That was all for today's editorial section, zooming in the potential of geospatial sector. This was the main thing about the editorial section. Okay.